Check that mic for me. Yeah, we're live.
You're live.
Yeah, live. Coming at you live. Anywho, welcome back to another episode, our third episode of Federico Advanced, where we are sharing the message of Federico, Northern California, with the masses. What's the masses this evening? Zero?
Now we got some viewers.
All right.
Got some people watching.
That's excellent. That's excellent. I can guarantee that 2 of those viewers are my kids. Right? I gotta say hi, man. Josh probably hates this part, but I gotta say hi. I say hi to Gianni and hi to Sienna because he just hates kids because they're bummed.
Not your kids.
They're bummed. Yeah. They're just bummed out because I've been gone traveling and home and then right back to work for like, a good 12-hour day as we do it. But Jacob, come give me your face. We gotta give a shout out to Jacob. Awesome makeup artist. He's our key makeup artist on the show, Jacob Del Rosario. Did I say it all right?
Yeah.
Jacob. So say hi to Jacob. Jacob's within the AJF Salon team.
I feel like such a Don Juan when you say his name.
Del Rosario.
I know. I feel so fancy when I say your name.
Right. So yeah, Jacob's in our junior stylist program of the of AJF Salon, and he's also a really super talented makeup artist, so we get to utilize his expertise in multiple ways right about now. So anyways, we're gonna go right into the haircut this evening because 2 weeks ago I was spanked by Josh. Say, quit talking so damn much in the beginning and getting to cutting some hair.
You can talk as much as you want, I'll just have to edit it out.
Perfect. Oh, then let's
more work for me.
Easy. Yeah, you don't mind. No, we'll start cutting some hair and then that way I can kind of talk through it and after it. So this is Maria. Maria is my model for the evening. Maria is an employee with us here for quite some time now of Federico's and helps us out. So she has graciously volunteered to be my model this evening, and we'll talk about all that and how this all came about very shortly. First thing I'm doing is I'm just checking out my sectioning pattern through the interior of the head, making sure that I'm rather balanced between the right and the left as far as how I'm dropping around the round of the head at the parietal region. I feel like I'm a little lower down on that left side, so I'm going to come back in and just clean it up. So what I've got going on very simply is a subdivision of the interior from the exterior, kind of in a V shape, a light V shape, floating around the parietal ridge and then dropping down to mid-crown. And the idea with the haircut this evening is I cut Maria's hair, I don't know, how long ago was that, Maria? October of last year. As a demo model. Out and about as I was out preaching the word and the gospel of Federico. So she has graciously volunteered again to be a demo model for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work a really nice, modern, sophisticated, edgy, graduated shape utilizing the plie razor. And this is a technique it's really stemmed from a lot of classic sectioning, classic subsectioning, but what's making it really kind of like modern and edgy is the blade I'm using and the way I'm using it. And I'll talk about that through the haircut. But the idea with the haircut is to bring the length up a bit, the baseline. Really, if you look at her hairline's actually pretty nice. It grows a little low, but it grows and it sits, softly down into the nape on each side. I'm not dealing with any crazy like calyx or quirkiness where it's spinning around, but I'm going to take it just up to the hairline in the back, and then I'm going to begin to sit on an expanded shape, the graduated line a little bit higher up into the occipital bone of the head, and then begin to flatten it out through the crown area. And then it's going to work triangularly down into the sides, so progressing in lengths as it veils and moves forward. And I may play with a lot of the length I have up here. Some of the ends will come off, just obvious to give her a nice trim. And then I'm going to work with something disconnected through the top interior and do some sort of fringe work. But to start out, I've got a good general idea of where I'm going with it as far as length, shape, technique, but also, as I begin cutting, things may vary a little bit just depending on how the hair is beginning to move and react to the utilization of the plie blade. And that way I really don't ever want to lock myself down too much so when I get into a haircut. I always got like a length guide, you know. Clients will come in, I'll get their basic okay on the length, and then from there I work the interior. And I generally work the interior with what I feel is best for, you know, what I'm doing. What I'm using, I got a little prep product in there, and it's from this really cool company. I know Josh pushed it out last week, but we had these gentlemen up. We had Garrett Markinson from Reverie. He owns a salon down in the LA County area, Santa Clarita, and his buddy, co-worker Darren Brassford came up. Super cool dudes a couple of weeks ago to Federico. They shared their passion and their techniques with our student body, and then between Josh, I, and the other two boys, we filmed a really cool collaboration video where it's 4 of us cutting 1 head of hair, and you can find that below on Federico Advanced. Check it out just after the show here, and it's called, was it Reverie Comes to Federico and Things Get Weird, or Garrett Markinson? Things Get Weird. That's all you really got to look for. So anyway, I used a product called Milk, which is a really nice, light, leave-in, nourishing, anti-frizz type of conditioner. And I'm going to use that as a prepping product just to help keep the hair subdivided for control. As well as as I begin to work through the hair, it'll just, you know, help allow the shape to dry with a little bit of product in there, so I can kind of see how it's really going to live. So, with that being said, and the packaging on it, it's absolutely beautiful. It's really cool, like opaque black glass bottle. I've got a really strong vertical diagonal subsection, right, stemming just off of that center part, and that's going to be my first guideline. And Josh is about to yell at me here. Rawr. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to distribute it out, straight out from the head, put my fingers into a graduated position, and then I'm going to come back in with the heel of the blade and just cut this first section pretty much completely away, so it sits just nice and soft into the back of the head. All right, something like so. And I'll come back onto the right and work back and forth for balance for the time being. It's a little bit thick. As we move on and work through this, things to know about the show tonight, you can text in, or I'm sorry, comment in below, or tweet in to Federico ADV on Twitter, and leave comments, ask questions, whatever it might be. And then I'm just gonna lightly.
And if you're watching live, be sure to share on Facebook and Twitter.
Yes.
And Friendster.
All of them.
So we get more viewers. That would be cool of you.
Yeah. And find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, because I like to build up my social network. So, this nice little soft graduated line. I'm going to come back in, work a subsequent subsection. Take it, direct it back. This show is proudly sponsored by HB, Hairbrained. Hairbrained is the place we go for all of our cool tools. HB Pro. And those of you are probably wondering, where's that cool comb you're using? Look at this cool comb I got.
Cool comb. Wait, what's the big one?
You don't even know. Gerard gave this to me this past weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. It's possibly he's thinking about, you know, getting some of these made. So he threw me a comb to sample it out. Said, do you like the length? Do you like, you know, the teeth? Whatever it might be. So it's another one of these red combs. I'm the only one in the salon that have it. So I'll be able to find it when it winds up missing. Like my other Hairbrained Ruby Red YS comb. That's missing. I'm looking for it. So coming in, using the tip of the blade as I move to the right, just cutting some nice soft graduation. And you can see like the principles of this are pretty much like as if I were to be cutting a graduated bob. with the scissor. I'm using a higher elevated point into the center of the head, you know, to build up that graduated shape. The elevation may not be as high if I were to be cutting with the scissor, because the stroke of the blade is as well cutting or creating graduation on the hair. So I'm dragging it down a little bit lower and then allowing the blade to produce the rest of it, or the plie. And as I work into the corners, I begin to close the gap of the graduation to tighten it up and to build my weight and my length into the corners. So just moving back left and right for the time being, so I can work a really nice balance on this haircut. Since I've seen you guys last, or had the pleasure of doing this live stream last, what have we been up to at Federico? Let's see, this past weekend we had a gentleman by the name of Andrew Carruthers out from Salt Lake City. Andrew is the International Creative Director for Sam Vila. He did a couple of days with, one day with a group of our students, one day with a group of salon professionals, a class called Modern Foundations. Unfortunately, I was not able to be here to hang out and meet him, which I'm super bummed about, because I understand that he's a really cool, down-to-earth guy and somebody that I'd probably really like to kick it with. Somebody to go out and have a beer with, you know? I think he'd probably like to talk about motorcycles. I just keep hearing that, and I don't even know if it's true or not.
We only book people into motorcycles.
Yeah, here. If you like motorcycles, especially like old cafe racers, we'll book you a class. You get to the top of the list. You can bump Tim Hartley right out of the way, you know? All right, so Andrew was out. Josh was around. He filmed, you know, a couple days of him, as he always does, and he got some really cool footage of Andrew doing his class. Got a little tutorial of Andrew talking about how to properly hold the scissor, and those are now up on Federico Advanced YouTube. You can see those. Every artist we bring in, we do a video like that to help, you know, either promote upcoming events, so you get an idea of the space, the feeling of the class, so forth. And we started doing this thing which is called the artist quick tips. So Andrew shared how to hold the scissors properly, and when Gerard was out from, you know, Rojo, Hairbrained, he shared how to hold the plie properly and how to lock and load, which is a very important tip. And you can see those, like I say, below on Federico Advanced. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Josh, how was the class with Andrew? Can you give me a little insight? I haven't really heard too much. I've been super busy today.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he taught some good stuff.
Saw the haircuts he did. They look super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a little mannequin work. And yeah, super nice guy.
Super nice guy.
Super nice guy.
And I like that. I mean, generally when I invite artists out, I either A, know they're nice guys or women, or B, have heard that they're nice guys or women, because I'm really into you know, finding real people to give real education. I'm not into the pretension and the ego that kind of floats along with a lot of the industry folk out there, you know? So I think it offers a really great culture for learning if they're like that. So you can kind of assume that if we've got somebody in Federico Advanced, that they're probably really cool to learn from. And they're just generally good people. Because I like good people. Good people are good, if that makes any sense. So as I work into this right-hand corner, you can see I just totally close it down. I'm at a very tight one-finger elevation. Just building up that shape. And I'm beginning to look at that line, graduation, making sure that it's going to definitely allow me to float below the occipital, or I'm sorry, below the occipital, but below the jawbone as I move into the face. And as I cut to the left, I haven't been yelled at by Josh. Either A, he doesn't care, or I'm learning.
Your big elbow's still in the way.
Oh, thanks.
No, it's just your body position's too good. It makes it hard.
So I move up. Okay, you guys can begin to see that graduated shape, right? And then as we begin to get obviously lifted up, you can see the softness of that texture. I'll get my big nugget out of the way of what I'm, creating in here. So it's good. I like what I see. I continue on. Yeah, so while Andrew was here, I was in New York for some Arrojo training. Part of Federico and AJF is, AJF, we're an Arrojo, what they call flagship salon. So we went out for some ambassador training. It was myself and one of my stylists in the salon, Jessica, who is our Arrojo ambassador. So we spent a few days out there and got some really great education, did some really cool networking. I've got a lot of really great friends that I get to see because of that network. My buddy Steven Adams out there in Minneapolis, who's a really talented hairdresser, super cool salon owner, owns a salon called Moxie Salon. He's like one of my favorite people to get and meet with and have dinners and cocktails with, because guess what? He's a real person. He's a good dude. He's owned a salon for a long time. He's an old man, but he doesn't look like it. No, he's not an old man. It's our joke. I'm the old guy. No. Anyway, so moving forward. And yeah, we were out there for a couple of days, and then unfortunately the day we were traveling back, which was Tuesday, it was really crazy. We were flying on United, and we went to go into LaGuardia airport, and the whole system crashed, meaning all their computer system crashed.
Like Y2K?
Like Y2K, and they were unable to check people in on their flights, and they're unable they're unable to board the flights. They were unable to all their flights were delayed and not taking off because, it was panic, man. It was like panic in the UK. It was nuts. So they wanted to stick Jessica and I, it's kind of funny, on a flight. They wanted to send us over to JFK from LaGuardia and then stick us on a flight to San Francisco, and then told us that we could pretty much figure it out and catch a cab from San Francisco to Sacramento.
No way.
Saying you're 80 miles closer to home, catch a cab. Holy shit, that's a $250 cab ride,
what?
if that, yeah. Anyhow, and I was just
They weren't going to pay for it.
No. Yeah, and I was just forget that. And then the flight home to San Francisco would have got us in at 11 o'clock at night.
You're back.
Back, yeah, thank you. Getting us, back into our homes, our design, it was probably 1 o'clock in the morning. I was just you know what? When's the first flight out in the morning? So it was super cool. They were much more accommodating. They put us up in a room and out in Queens, which was interesting because I'd never been to Queens. And we were right in little Chinatown, right in the Chinatown area of Queens, and gave us some food vouchers to eat, and got us on the first flight home. And they upgraded our seats, which was cool. They upgraded.
First class?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Economy plus, economy plus one way, and the emergency exit the other way. Which, I think the emergency exit's better than first class.
Oh, it's way better.
Yeah.
That was always my big scam.
I'm a tall dude, man. Put me in the emergency exit any day of the week.
I hate that you have to pay for it now.
Do you?
The emergency rows? Yeah.
I had no idea.
Mm.
No idea. So I'll pay for the emergency row any day of the week because it's
like $80 to sit in the emergency row.
Oh.
I always want to call them out too. When they're like, "Are you okay to work there?" I always want to be like, "No, she's feeble.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be sitting there."
I was saying, man, if this plane goes down, look out, open the door. I'm the first one out.
Yeah.
Thanks. So as I work up the back of the head, you can see I'm just continuing on with really strong diagonal subsections. There's Andy. Andy, come on in, show your face. So everybody around here has a beard. There's Andy. Hi, Andy. Don't be weird or people are never going to watch you when you do this. Yeah.
It's too late.
It's too late.
I'm pretty weird.
Andy's weird. Andy's one of the stylists at the salon. Oh boy. An educator.
We've stopped caring about your haircut. Now we're just going to follow Andy around.
Educator within the school side, doing advanced classes, and educates in the salon for me.
Give a little spin.
Which way? To the right?
To your left. Yeah, and then take a step that way. So you stop blocking that light.
Yeah, there we go. So that's Andy. And the other thing that I want to get from you guys out there viewing is obviously, you know, I'm here now, 3 times launching Federico Advanced, but the idea of it is to give the opportunity to, you know, my educators and my staff on the AJF side as well as some of the Federico side to come out and to do these types of things. So with that being said, I would like to know, because I've only been cutting hair, Josh primarily cuts hair, what else you guys would like to see? Meaning, are you interested in seeing some editorial styling? Are you interested in seeing some coloring techniques, some new retexturizing techniques? You know, is it a different type of hair cutting you would like to see? Because we can really begin to cater these live free classes to you, the viewer at home. I cut hair pretty much all day, every day in the salon. I love to teach color. I hate to apply color. And to me, applying color, and I got in trouble for saying this earlier today, but I'm going to say it again, is it's like monkey's work to me. Meaning the monotony of the application drives me just bananas.
Some people love that.
I know. I know, right?
Some people love just sitting there and foiling all day and can blast through it. And,
But yeah,
you know,
I'd just rather sit there and cut hair all day
or wrap a perm.
Or wrap a perm.
Wrapping perm.
Dude.
So there's such satisfaction out of that.
I'm a huge advocate, you know, and really kind of pushing the perm or, you know, chemical service like that back in the salon because, man, that's when hairdressers made money. It's back in the 80s, in the early 90s when like perms were going on. I mean, that's when there was like hand over fist money being made, but unfortunately there was a lot of bad habits in the industry at that time, which I'm sure still are, but they were using that money to support the bad habit. That's a really bad generality, but you know, it's the truth.
Perm support terrorists.
It's the perm support. Perm supports, yeah.
Perms and cocaine. That was the 80s.
That's what I was kind of looking at.
That's where you were going with this, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you think
The smuggling of drugs, you know, into the States. That's what happened. Come on, we've all seen the movie Blow. Where was he buying his blow from originally, right? From Pee Wee Herman. Give me a break. Okay. Well, Pee Wee was a salon owner.
That movie Blow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That was a documentary, right?
Yeah. All right, so now I'm going through as I get into the upper part of the occipital, really low crown, and I'm going to begin tipping through a little bit of this to open it up and make it a little bit airier, as well as remove that length out. So tipping, I'm just going in with the tip of the blade, and on this I'm going into more of the mid shafts, and what I'm doing is I'm just creating space through the hairs to give the curls a little bit more room to open up, breathe. It's removing weight out of the hair. It's offering a little bit more dimension back through it. But generally, like for me, some people will tip through the section as well as you know, create the length, the technique, and the shape all in one. But I'll pretty much like create the shape, technique, and then go back in and tip. But I do know that this area has definitely got a lot of hair in it, so I can begin my tipping through this lower crown, very high occipital region. Do we have any questions? It's always fun when we have a question. Somebody give me a question.
People are really shy in the first bit of it.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy, ask questions.
The show only gets better when there's questions.
Better.
Better. So coming down the pike at Federico, we've got, this is, I think, the big thing of the year that I'm like super stoked on is in 2 weeks, March 2nd and 3rd, you guys saw the little banner, probably rotating through the opening window during the pre-show. The Arrojo West Coast Summit. It's gonna be a super huge event. I know Arrojo's putting it on. We're kind of hosting it. They're using the space. And they've got like damn near 250 tickets sold for Sunday evening's event in our ballroom theater space just behind me. And that's pretty much like a sold out show in there, according to Fire Marshal Bill. And the following day, they've got a series of like 10 different breakout classes that you could take from anything you'd ever want to do. And those pretty much sold out. But there are a few tickets still available. So when I say sold out, I'm sure that you can still get a ticket. And the way it works is for the Sunday evening ticket, it's $75. And that's going to be like a 3-hour thing where you come in, and then the show will begin. My salon team's doing like an opening presentation, a little runway show, some really cool videos going on. And then Arrojo, Nick will be out with like 8 of his master stylists, demoing on the stage, showing like what they're all about. And then I think obviously we'll be running with a runway presentation as well. And then the following day, Monday, there's a series of, like I say, the 10 different breakout classes. And the 2-day ticket's $350. And those classes are filling up quite quickly. But there's, I mean, like razor fundamentals, advanced razor, creative scissor cutting, let's see here, American wave, men's hairdressing, which I believe is like men's hair cutting, hair painting, editorial styling. I know that Nick's doing one that's called the Success Symposium, where it's kind of like up and close with Nick, and he's kind of, you know, sharing with you like how you can be a successful stylist, salon owner. I'm doing one that's like a fusion cutting class where I'm going to be utilizing the scissor and the razor. So there's a lot of different really cool education going on. It should be a really great weekend, full of education, full of inspiration, a lot of great hair, and most of all, a lot of great networking. And the cool thing about it is there's a lot of people coming from not in this area, meaning they actually bought a ticket, then they paid for an airplane ride, and they paid for a hotel to go out and get educated. And that's what it takes sometimes, because in this ever-changing industry, there's not a lot of education houses, places to go out and educate yourself. So that's what Federico Advanced is about. It's about giving a house to the independent hairdressers and the people that need a home to speak their voice, to share their talents, their techniques. So every month we've got some really great artists coming in. That Arrojo thing is the next month, or March coming up. And then we take a little break in April, and then we pick it right back up in May with Mr. Russell Mays coming from Southern California. And then in June, we've got Douglas McCoy coming back out. Douglas was out last year. In July, we've got the Teals, all right, all 3 of them. And they're gonna do some really cool like wig making workshops, like editorial styling. In August, we've got a really big Goldwell event here with Demetrius coming out, and then Sonia Brado from KMS. And then September, I think we may have locked down a date with Mr. DJ Muldoon. And I know that Sally Rogerson is coming back out in September. Actually, Sally will be here this weekend, but not on behalf of Federico. They're utilizing the space. She's out doing some classes with Davin S, but she'll be here for 3 days doing some hair cutting. And I totally forgot about that till today because this has been crazy. So we've got lots of great stuff coming down the pike. And the only way we can continue it on is with the love and the support of you, the at-home viewer, to click off of this website when it's over, to get on Delta, US Airways, whatever, buy a ticket, get in your car, fill it up, drive up to Sacramento, lovely Sacramento,
Priceline.com.
Priceline.com. We've got the second most trees in the world. It's a beautiful city.
Where's the first?
Paris.
I'm going to go there and burn their trees down.
Right.
Number one.
And, you know, join us because we've got, I mean, what we're out to create, there's just nothing really like it in the industry as far as a home that, produces education every month on a completely different like methodology because we're non-manufacturer based. There's no one there telling us what to teach and how to teach it. So I can teach or bring in whoever the hell I want and put her under the umbrella of Federico. And these are not classes like you'll find in your local Maylee's salon-centric beauty supply. You know what I'm saying? These are like hands-on hardcore classes. These are the classes that I'd want to go take. These are the classes that Josh would want to go take. And that's the way that, you know, we put together this calendar. All right. As well as I'm always looking, I'm in the process of building Q1's calendar of 2015 right now. So I'm always looking for who you would like to learn by, ideas and suggestions on classes, artist that I can network out to and bring them up to Sacramento. Our facility is it's a really nice facility. There's a little tour of it on this Federico Advanced YouTube page you can check out that walks you through the space. You can rent the space if you want.
You can have a rave here.
You can have a rave here.
I'm pretty sure we're going to. Right?
You can have a heavy metal show, a punk rock show. So as I work into the sides, get back to the haircut, I'm just continuing on diagonally. The first few subsections, I definitely worked with a lower point of elevation to build up the line through the haircut. And then now as I work into like, well, this is probably being the third, my elevation is definitely a little further off the shape of the head. But as I begin to get down into the front points of the hair, I'll begin closing it, meaning a lower point of elevation to continually build on that line. Take that out, a little bit more water. These lights are nice and warm, they dry out the hair super quick. Man, no questions, huh? Oh, we got one.
Josh and Stacy
Josh is
Serious Salon in Atlanta say hello.
Hey, Josh and Stacy, how are you guys? I missed you out in New York. I thought you may have been there. So working through it. Now just begin to kind of lift that hair up and off the shape of the head, begin to look at how the texture is beginning to move and flow. Kind of liking it. It's still a bit weighty, but like I said, I'll go back in and begin tipping into it and opening it up just after I complete this side. The other thing that we're going to begin doing in the second part of this year is, you know, Federico is just not a home for the independents. It's kind of been part of the dream of AJF with me for the past, I don't know, I've had AJF salon for 14 years, is to, you know, obviously have a salon, but to train a staff and a team of my own that we can begin going out and doing our own, you know, methodology of education and sharing our own like message and culture and not really putting together collections. I'm not a big collection, you know, person because I think, you know, those haircuts come and go. I'm like a really strong like technique-based hair cutter because I feel like if you understand shape and technique and how to utilize your tools different, you can, you know, create your own haircuts. You don't need to follow the collection. You don't need to know how to cut the Jennifer Aniston and the Miley Cyrus and the, who's the next big one? Jennifer Lawrence and the names that my clients are bringing in. So Jennifer Aniston, maybe not so much anymore, but I'll spin around this way.
Yakov Smirnoff. No, no way.
Yeah. No, is that like a Russian supermodel or something?
No, that was Russian comedian.
Oh.
You don't remember him?
No.
Ah, in Mother Russia, that guy? Right.
So as I transition into my left side, working the same principles. Razor graduation is one of my favorite things to do, because I think that the way that the razor...
Turning your back to the camera?
Well, I'm just trying to section the hair.
Just had dropped in the light in 1 second.
I'm trying to get if I can... I'm sorry. Whoop, I'm trying to get a suntan on my back right now, man. Beep. Censor. There's certain words I'll say, but yeah, shouldn't be one. So anyway. So continuing on back, basic principles. Basic principles of graduation. Ay, ay, ay. Make me lose my...
Most fun show ever.
So as I move into the sides, just working a heavy point of over direction to retain that length into the front corners. And as I get into it, you know, like I say, very closed amount of plie work, meaning that my stroke is not, here we go. This is my shaft of hair. And this is a stroke. All right, that'd be like what I call a closed stroke. It's a consistent motion within a 1/2 to a 1 inch motion. And the more I begin to open that stroke, it's really kind of weird to do that way. The more I open that stroke, obviously the softer and the more diffused the line's gonna be, right? It'd be like if you were just to be point cutting into the hair straight in, opposed to doing a deeper point cut at a little bit more of an angle, in a way. Maybe that's a way for you hair cutters out there that don't use the plie razor or the razor at all, that you can reference back to that. So the more definitive the line that I want to see, I'm going to close the stroke. And the softer I want to see the line, like a good example will be here, is I work up into the upper region of the head in the crest area. I'm going to work in with a much more aggressive stroke and loose those ends, and then as I begin to get into the line of the haircut, I begin to close that stroke so that it has substance to it, because I can always come back into it and take out more weight if need be. I'm liking how my shape is progressing. Probably one more subsection here, 2 more, 1 more, and then 1 more little skinny one. Then I'll come back on it and tip into it. Not much to cut. In fact, I'll just begin doing a little tipping.
I don't know if anyone's asked you this, but you ever cut yourself on it?
I cut myself all the time.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean,
Or more on the shears or the razor?
Probably the scissor, to be honest. The razor, I might just be a little bit more conscientious of it. But I say it's like this, man. It's with hair, you play with fire, you're bound to get burned. You know what I mean? You're using sharp tools all day, every day. You're gonna nick yourself, cut yourself. And what you do is you suck it up, you go bandage it, excuse yourself, go bandage it up, and get right back to work.
I feel like I cut myself, or I have a tendency to cut myself more when I'm not cutting the hair with a razor.
Yeah.
More like when I'm like, replacing the blade or something.
Yeah, that's generally what happens. I mean, they say like, if I were to set my razor down, like, you got to get into good habits of the razor. It's like when you set it down, you close the blade, you stick it in your drawer, but sometimes it'll just begin to open up in the drawer, and then you might like, stick your hand in.
Yeah, that time where I just...
And all of a sudden, and it bit you.
Yeah.
And then, what are you going to do? You're just screwed. Yeah.
We have a couple questions.
Yeah. Don't ever make that face again.
First one from Max Beck.
Max.
Do you guys ever have guest artists appear on these Federico Live nights?
That has been definitely a topic of conversation. Between Josh and I, we began saying, like, when we bring in an artist, we write it into their contract. It may not happen on a Thursday night, but it may happen on like a Sunday night or a Monday night after they do their class. So that will begin to happen in the future.
We're slave drivers when it comes to our guest artists.
Man, they sign a day rate. I'm taking them from 12 to 12. For some of the day rates I see, I'm like, oh boy, I'm gonna put you to work. What? You want to stop and drink? Get back to work.
Yeah, back to work. We got movies to make.
Right.
And then from North Shore 45, some people believe it's a bad idea to do a razor cut to fine hair. What are your thoughts about it, guys?
A razor cut on fine hair, I would just probably keep the stroke of the razor a bit more closed. I think that utilizing a razor on fine hair properly can actually make the hair feel a little fuller and a little thicker if you were incorporating proper techniques and putting in shorter lengths to longer lengths and building up just more substance in the hair. So I may not be super aggressive on the stroke of the razor, but yeah, I do it all day, every day in the salon. So, and if somebody told you that, it's because that they were just unsure about themselves. So now I'm just going back in and working just opposite of how I cut it and tipping into it. So taking just strong diagonal back subsections. It's a way for me to cross-check my work as well as just to refine the internal weight of it. Like I say, I'm looking through the hair, looking for the light and the dark areas and going after the dark areas and keeping the light areas. And where she's got a lot of mass is definitely down here in this lower occipital nape region. So I might be a little bit more aggressive with my tipping. I love the plie. It's definitely given me a whole new life into cutting hair. I've always used the razor, but the plie, something newer in the past, 3-4 years. And what are you typing? He's so fast over there. Oh, he's commenting. Let's see, you can follow us, please. Josh told me about this. On the bottom left side of your screen, right there, right? Josh, that's where you guys will see our YouTube links, our Facebook links, well, not links, but our handles for Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Please follow us, please share us, please like us, please love us, because, like I say, we're generally pretty good people just trying to help spread the trying to spread the love of education for free. For free. It's one of the last free things in life. We got a free comb, and now I give away free education for it.
What's that fancy comb you got?
It's paying it forward, do you miss it? Gerard gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new comb that he's kind of looking at and possibly like producing under the Hairbrain Tools. It'll be like labeled HB.
Huh.
Yeah. It's really, who makes it? Yeah. It's a company called Leader. And Leader makes like combs for everybody. They like make all the YS part combs and whatnot. So he was telling me all this. I don't know if I should be, how much he wanted me to share out, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so he threw it to me because I'm a junkie. He's a junkie for tools. Said, play with it, try it out, let me know what you think. And lately I've been enjoying it. I like a long hair cutting comb, primarily when I'm working like longer hair, finishing layers and so forth. But I just really wanted to kind of put it to the test and see how it felt on the hand and cutting shorter, tighter shapes. And I'm telling you, it feels good. It's got good tension, feels comfortable in the hand. It's a little thicker in the spine as to like a basic like YS 339. So I feel like I got a good handle on it. The teeth got great slip. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. You can see it's kind of like ridged, and it makes really nice for handling it as your hands get slippery. And I'm not going to drop it. You can begin to see, I began to flatten out the shape, just tipping through it, giving it some more airiness. Do the same thing through the opposing side. I have to saturate this side down a wee bit. And yeah.
We have another question.
Let's hear it.
Kind of weird.
Uh-oh.
Have you guys ever thought about classes for normal looking women? Like big old women. I'd love to see what a master stylist would do with women that aren't knocked out. Yes, we groupie all our clients, all our models beforehand.
I'll be very honest, man. It took me a long time to figure this out. What makes your job really easy is just to do beautiful, like clients and beautiful models. So, Josh, I'll leave that one for you.
What? Why don't we cut normal people?
Why don't you cut normal people?
Because that's what people do every day in the salon.
That's what I do all day, every day. You really want to see that? Because I'll make it worth your while, man. I will make it worth your while. That's an excellent question, whoever asked that. Keep them coming.
We'll start booking ugly models.
Yeah. Well, the first one to do it will be Andy.
There you go. I'll do it.
Andy, you'll be our model.
No.
No, I'll bring in an old girl. Yeah, like just old lady.
Oh boy. Okay. I got another person here. Aaron, come on.
Hi.
Come get in front. Let them see your face. There, see? How does she do on camera? Can she be sold as a, yeah, she enjoys it too much. Erin's another one of definitely my higher level stylists in the salon. She's would definitely be into teaching and sharing her expertise. So she came back to AJF. She was with me years ago and came back because she wanted to get in and do more education because of the little weird things that we're doing. So she's another face that you can see on Federico Advanced, because my face will get old and tired very quick and I'll run out of things to say.
We got a question from the Max Beck. Not to digress too much, but do you guys have information on the Sally Rogerson class? I couldn't find it on your website.
Yeah, on the, you know what, Max, on the Sally Rogerson class, are you speaking of the one coming up? The one coming up this weekend is put on by Daviness. She's coming under the umbrella of Daviness, so we're just like hosting the space. The one coming down in September, I will have more information. I'll tell you what, Max, go on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, I'm sure you are. Find me, Adam J. Federico, I believe, Adam Federico, and message me, and I'll get that information right over to you. Or you can email me at adamfederico@ajfsalon.com. That's pretty easy.
And I think Sally might have a spot or two left.
Cool.
So if you contact her on Facebook.
There you go. Where are you coming from, Max? I'll find that answer out in like 5 minutes.
San Francisco, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bay Area. Yeah.
He was typing in a couple weeks ago, huh?
Last week, or week before last.
Yeah.
That.
Awesome, Max. You're back. Max is back. Shake it out. All right. That camera. Where are you, that camera? Okay, so just kind of assessing the shape. I'm liking how it's going. Definitely got a nice little trim here today. Go back in, maybe just tip into the center bit just to open it up. Looking good. You know what's really cool is through the videos we've been doing and things like this, like in New York, I was in New York this weekend and there's a lot of hairdressers there, and how many of them came up and say, hey, I really love what you guys are doing, you know? And 3 of them?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, more than 3. I really love what you guys are doing. The videos you're producing and creating, like, keep it up. And that's really good. And that's what's really cool. And I was trying to share this message earlier today. You know, we're at a really interesting spot in the industry, being that you can be in any town USA, like Sacramento, and you can put your work out on all different social media platforms, on websites like hairbrain.me. And if you're not on Hairbrain, like, get off of this thing when we're done and sign up for a hairbrain.me account. It's free. It's a social platform for hairdressers. You can put out all your work, videos, damn things out of batteries. Videos, photos, excellent forum content, and you know what? And network and share. I mean, really, that's what's allowed us to kind of get our name out there in the past year to 2 years, is through different social media platforms. And you can be anywhere and just begin to build a name for yourself. You don't have to be in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, London, you know, Milan. You can be in any town USA and just do what you love. Thanks. Woo! Thanks.
Even Detroit.
Detroit Rock City, huh? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's where the line's drawn. Detroit? No. Detroit.
I heard Detroit is like the Chernobyl of America.
Really? Andy.
I heard people burn their houses for insurance, like all the time. Like firefighters have it rough out there.
I hear they eat babies.
Oh boy. Is that after they're listening to Rain and Blood, huh?
Ricky Martin, actually.
Oh.
Ricky Martin, it's the choice music for baby eaters.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, really, they took that song to heart.
And eating baby.
Shows us getting weirder and weirder. Okay.
Everyone enjoys the commentary.
Yep. The commentary.
It's around dinner time.
They're having a pint and eating a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in Detroit.
Oh boy. Oh, we just lost our Detroit viewers.
All
none of them. Detroit.
Let me check my analytics.
Okay. We're all just a bunch of smart-ass hairdressers, you know? You gotta mind your P's and Q's all day behind the chair. You get to like let them unleash here, I guess. The things you've always wanted to say to the client. Okay, and just going back into the sides, opening them up a little bit to create a little bit more airiness. Just working back still on those diagonal back type of subsections. And this will probably be the last one, as this incorporates me back into, yeah. Lower that down, one finger. Later, man.
You guys have a good one.
Yep, have a good night, Andy.
See you later.
Okay.
So, go listen to Ricky Martin.
Yeah, he's gonna go eat some babies. All right, I dropped down that top interior without even thinking about it. I dropped it down. And now the idea, and this is something I did actually earlier today. I did a demo model earlier today for our students. We were back sharing inspirations of New York. So I was inspired and I saw this technique, and it's very like, you know, classic disciplined haircutting, right? I worked a very tight kind of flat graduation, just utilizing the plie blade. And what's making it look modern and airy is just the amount of like stroke and the amount of pressure I'm putting within each subsection and creating that airiness, and, you know, cutting it to fit this individual, Maria's, you know, natural texture, her head. So what I'm going to begin to do now is I'm going to begin to work backwards, because if you think about it, I've worked a shape that's triangular. So, you know, the definition of triangular in very like generic form would be, it's a shorter progression of lengths. It's a shorter lengths in the back progressing to longer lengths into the front. So it's like a short to long movement, right? So if I've got curly hair and I got a small face and I'm cutting shorter hair to get longer, and I were to continue through the top interior, there's a chance, especially without any kind of bang area, that what I would do is I would just almost begin to close off and encapsulate in her face, right? So I've got this short to long progression through the bottom exterior. So now what I want to do to keep it open is I'm just going to work opposite. Now I'm going to come back into the front on the interior and work a round graduated shape. So I'll produce a shorter length into the front, working into a longer, more disconnected length that can have little bits and pieces hanging over the weight line into the back. So the top interior, this hair here, as it begins to move back, because round, if it's just opposite, is triangular, is a shorter length in the front, descending into a longer length into the back. So this will help just kind of keep the hair pushed back and away from the face, keeping her nice and open, and then we will do some sort of incorporation of a fringe, because she had one, you know, quite some time ago, and I got to give her a new one. So that's the idea with the top. Okay?
New question, do you guys host classes for people that want to teach, present, educate others? It's one thing doing hair, it's another being able to teach it.
I have taught classes like that before. It's definitely more than a single day class. It's more of like, a 3 to 4 day long workshop, and something that you continuously go back to and work on is, getting in front of people. And first off, getting in front of people and speaking is, I think, what, like the second, worst fear in the world. I think next to getting eaten by a shark or something silly like that. But it's public speaking. So there's one thing to accomplish. And the second thing is being able to talk about what you're doing while you're doing it, and being able to break it down in such an analytical form that your students are grasping what you're saying, and being able to say it in numerous ways. So if you have a student that has a challenge with what you're saying, that you can obviously get it across to them in another manner. So yeah, it's something we've done, but what I say to you first off is, if you've got an assistant in the salon, take the assistant and just begin teaching them. And begin teaching them simple things like how to cut a square one-length haircut, and see if you can get the words out in a basic enough manner, and to give them the theory that they'll be able to follow you and understand you. And then, if you don't have a assistant, go find a cosmetology student from your local cosmetology, and say, hey, this is an interesting approach because I never hear of somebody like this, but I want to be a mentor. And I would like for you, anybody, cosmetology kids, future hairdressers of America, am looking to learn how to teach. Because I honestly feel as if you can teach your craft, then you really began to work on the mastery of it. There's a lot of great hair cutters, hairdressers out there, but they can't teach it or break down to you what they're doing. So I feel like their skill level honestly only goes so far. It's when you can begin to regurgitate the information back up and out, and have somebody from ground zero be able to figure it out, and take the concept, utilize it in an effective manner, then you really begin to take your craft to a whole other level. So yeah, find somebody, begin teaching them. But we have, I think, another thing that you can check out more so is to go take workshops from your local theatrical group, and they'll work with you on how to speak from the diaphragm to project your voice. Toastmasters, yeah. I mean, when I worked for Sebastian for a while, and that's one of the things they always did. They always had, different people that work with actors and actresses and so forth, and to teach you how to present, because that's what you're doing, is you're just presenting, and we're presenting our craft. So if you can talk haircutting, then you just got to learn how to speak it in front of people, yeah, and not get lost. That's what I'm working on.
Have a friend record you too.
Oh yeah. Stand in front of your iPod, whatever, your camera, man, because that's what first thing I do after these things is I go home and I watch them. You sound like such a schmo.
Do you really do that?
Oh, dude, I go home.
I can't do it. I can't watch myself.
I go home and I watch. I'll go home after this. By 8:30, I'll be sitting there and I'll have a beer and I'll be watching it. And be you dipshit, what are you saying there? How many times did you say this? You know what I mean?
I get so bored watching myself.
And you know what I mean?
I was there.
You know what I mean is one of the things. I'm how many times you gotta say, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay.
So I do.
That's another one.
So do that.
I do love watching myself. That's why I love watching on your face. I guess I get to see Adam live often.
In the salon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get to see the full effect of Josh.
Only time I'm happy.
What's your haircutting name now?
What?
Your haircutting name? I heard you saying this the other day. You're Josh XO. When you cut hair, you're Joshua Flowers when you take pictures?
No.
Oh, I thought you were rebranding yourself. No? Oh.
Just gonna kill the whole Josh XO thing.
Oh.
Not a rebrand.
He's killing him off.
I'm just killing him.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Make a show about that.
Oh, there will be.
The death of Josh XO.
Can I come in and kill you somehow? The death of
I think it will involve PMG, maybe.
We should, right? Maybe on your 40th birthday, maybe kill you off as Josh XO, cut off the hair, and you come back in as Joshua Flowers.
Spoiler alert!
Damn, I figured it out. All right. So as I move into the back, I'm beginning to, in the front few subsections, I worked a very low point of elevation. Now as I'm beginning to work into the back, I'm beginning to elevate this further off the shape of the head to incorporate it into some of that back graduation, as well as to help flatten out the shape and produce somewhat of an internal layer through there. And I'm just being a little heavier handed and working a little bit more of the tip and a little bit more of the middle of my blade to produce like just a softer end result, kind of planing it out a wee bit. So there's my graduation, it's falling out of the hand, so I see that, and now just come in with a larger stroke and utilizing that flat of the blade. And I'll come back in, tip into that. Yeah, you probably got my elbows.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Tip.
John McCormick says this show needs a cocktail break.
Hey.
Dude.
Heyo.
Hey, Johnny, the bottle should be in front of you, bud. You don't need a cocktail. Oh, do we need a cocktail break?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's
We
no
need
beer in the
smoking.
fridge.
We need smoking jackets.
I think it does need a cocktail.
I think
Yeah.
we need a sexy 60s go-go dancer break with
You just
cocktails.
had a booth back there, the girl that just danced. And...
Could you imagine if like the show had a bartender? Like a bartender over in that corner and a couple go-go dancers over there. Adam, we need a budget.
Hey, Max, give me another Johnny on the rocks.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Give me another Walker Black, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would go with the
I'm
sign.
salivating. That's what I was saying.
Like
That,
a red
but
velvet bar.
after the ISSE show, we showed the Roger and Ep3 thing. Man, I'm just supposed sitting back reviewing the ISSE show. It's been great. Over a
I think
few,
we're onto something.
over a few cocktails. All right. Move back into my left side, diagonal back, and I'll stay on track here. So diagonal back, I'm going to bring it down to a nice low point of elevation, just kind of marry it and incorporate it into that bottom baseline of the haircut, keeping it nice and light and airy. And then as I begin to move back a little bit more, I'll begin to work with a little bit more elevation to soften up the graduation, to produce a little bit more layering through it. And then as I come back into the next subsequent subsection, I'm going to elevate it a little bit more and incorporate it into some of the graduation in the back. I'm getting very just open with the razor so it's nice and free. And then another one back here. And get definitely a little bit more aggressive with the motion of the razor. So now I'm coming off the crown, pulling it just over to her left shoulder, and begin using the flat of the blade and really just kind of open that up and loosen this nice and soft till we peel it off.
We got a couple comments here.
Okay.
First of all, John McCormick says, okay, I'm flying up the go-go dance.
Cool, John.
Yeah, that's sexy.
I like it.
And the Max Beck is, what is your definition of an internal layer?
Of an internal layer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm speaking of working just through the interior of the head right now. So you can think about it very elementary, and that's probably how I'm referring to right now. Everything in the bottom baseline, it'd be like if I were to cut like a really strong, like structured, like square length bob, and I had this line, and then I began to work a completely different shape through the interior where I did not layer down into that bottom perimeter and break that line. So that would be like an internal layer. So I'm working through more of the interior of the head, which is, you know, the upper interior technically is the upper round of the head. So from the parietal ridge up on top. So I'm beginning to like flatten that out and into this crest area. So working through this crest and top interior, sitting a layer in. I don't know if I overtalked that, overkilled it, but That's my definition of an interior layer. Interior graduation is a completely different thing. Let's just not get that confused. That is definitely a little bit more, ooh, I kind of like how that's hanging over. Interior graduation is quite a bit more technical in the sense of there's not a lot of variation with it. So now I like the disconnection, but I'm just coming back in to the bits that are disconnected from that top interior layer and tipping into it and opening it up. So as it begins to fall over that graduation, it sits really nice and soft and seamless through there. Okay. And just a little bit more tipping, a little bit more airiness. How's your client going? You doing color on her? You here late?
No, I'm just watching.
Oh. So almost done. I'm just going back through and kind of just tipping into the rest, looking where I'm a little weighty, which is definitely a little bit there. And
great shape.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to tip into it just to loosen it up, and then I'm going to put some sort of fringe on there. Not too short, right? Yeah.
When you use your razor,
yes.
do you, because I find that I go back a lot on dry hair to remove weight.
Mm-hmm.
And do you find that you're pretty much able to knock that all out?
Yeah, like that's what I'm doing right now is keeping it damp and pushing it into shape and then seeing where the weight's kind of like naturally living. It's much easier to see on curly hair because you can begin to see how that curly hair is beginning to live. Sometimes on straighter hair, it just lays too one-dimensionally. You know, you got to really like kind of shake it out and to see the movement of the hair. You know, after the razor, what I'll do is I'll definitely want to come back through it. Not all the time, but most of the time with the tips of my scissor and just to kind of cross-check the work to take off any like ends that are extremely like loose from over-razoring. So that way when, you know, the client or the model puts her hands into the hair, she feels like she has substance all the way through and it's just not like, you know, dwindle away at the last bit of the hair.
And how do you know how far to go up when you're removing weight?
It depends on the density of the hair. General rule of thumb is, you know, you want to go down far enough down the mid shaft so there's enough bend in the hair that it's not going to stick straight up and out, unless that's what you're going for. So right now, like on this, I'm looking at where the hair is coming from and then looking just below the round of the head and then going down into where these mid shafts lie.
Mario Gonzalez says that yes to the bartender idea and we need a couple of lushes commenting on the haircut. We go.
Okay. You know what?
I'm thinking the old guys from the Muppet Show would be
Yeah.
So we just put a box up there.
Oh!
That'd be excellent.
We need a, what is that called? The theater,
Balcony.
the balcony seating?
The balcony.
Some old guy.
Okay, I can't see.
Oh. It's the part I really didn't want you to see on, that's why
Right.
I'm just taking off this hair.
Don't mess up. No worries.
This can happen a little bit dry as well. Just kind of look at it and assess it. Just want to keep it nice and soft. I mean, the whole haircut's soft, so I don't want to put a hard line in the back edge of the hair, of the hairline.
Are you taking it to the skin or just dusting off the length?
Yeah, no, I'm taking it to the skin this bit. The razor is definitely flat against the skin. A little bit of water. Actually, a little bit of milk. Oh. I'm a cheap bastard. Garrett, for your watching.
All the samples.
I'm like, check out the wonderful product, but I'm using the samples. Come on, I want to sell the real stuff so I can order more of it. Oh yeah, what a dream. That was perfect. This stuff smells so good.
I'm in love with that stuff.
You used it a bit. It's good, right?
It's amazing.
Okay. So let's knock out a fringe and then let's diffuse it. But before I even do that, you know what I'm going to do is, it's so warm in here from those lights, I'm just going to re-wet it down, put a little product in there, so as I cut the fringe, this can just begin to like naturally dry. And then Josh has got the fan on, so I don't even, woo!
That already looks so cute.
Okay. And now I'll put a little bit of some curl balm in there. It's a little curl definer. Nice gel serum, really nice and emollient. Kind of push it in there, it'll help just, oh yeah. I can feel it just pushing it into the hair, feels good. Scrunching the hair, beginning to put it into shape. Make sure it's nice and evenly distributed. A little bit more. This is a product that I feel like you just can't, you know, use too much. Cool. Blot off the hands. Take the large teeth of my comb, just kind of rake it through, help distribute it out. And then as I'm doing that, I'm just taking my left hand and beginning to push the curl pattern back into place. Take this front fringe area, just kind of drop it forward and see what naturally wants to live kind of forward. Lift it up and off of the scalp. Cool. Let's knock out a fringe. Not too short, just to make sense. Okay. So I'm going to start on my, well, we work short to long. I'm going to do something kind of soft, step in front of the camera, come back in on this side. It's going to work on small diagonals, head to the left, perfect. I'm going to bring this down, keep it pretty long. So utilizing the corner of the eye as a reference right there. Continually work across, which happened to look like a small little triangular section in that fringe. A little bit more elevation. Perpendicular distribution, opening up that blade up a bit more so it just gets softer as it moves across the face. We don't build up too much weight in that left-hand corner. A little bit more elevation and open that blade up even more so. This is like a little fringe cleanup. And this is just supposed to be a soft little bit that should hopefully just incorporate in to that right-hand side into the round graduation. Maybe a little bit more tipping through here where it feels heavy. Lose that bit.
We have a question. Where can we get that milk product?
Where can you get them? From AJF Salon, of course. No, where can you get milk?
GarrettMarkinson.com.
There you go, GarrettMarkinson.com. Perfect. A little bit more tipping.
I like the model keeping an eye on this bank and what's happening with your
And then just work it down into the layers on that left-hand side. That will be my starting point. Maybe at the end, I'll do a wee bit more. I'll just check this corner. Yeah, just dip into this a little bit. Cool. Okay. Onwards and upwards. Always. So, here comes the part where I really need questions to come in, because as I diffuse this head of hair, there's nothing worse to watch than somebody blow drying hair. It's like watching water getting hot enough to boil. It's absolutely just boring. But I'll give you some helpful hints, but you know, this is good dialogue time.
Someone said,
You suck.
no.
Oh.
Tanya Ramirez says she wants to, wait, where is it? Where did it go?
Who? Tanya Ramirez. That name.
Tanya Ramirez.
Oh.
Federico X Mad Men mashup. I want to see that. Adam is the Don Draper of hair.
Don Draper. I like it.
Yeah?
I like those drinks too. It's horrible. You sound like a lush.
Just gonna get weed every Thursday.
That's what I thought. Like I said, we need a couple of lushes. I'm like, why? I want to be the lush.
Just get a 1 o'clock start on Fridays.
Oh. Okay, so I've got my blow dryer. I got my YS Park sock cap diffuser that you can find on Hairbrained Professional. Hairbrained.me. HB Pro is their shop site where you can pick up these wonderful little diffusers. Actually, they may be sold out of them, but you should definitely check. And if they are sold out, spend your money somewhere else on their website, because there's tons of great stuff. Scissors, combs, clips, diffusers, DVDs. So I've got some of the curl definer in there, and I pushed that through, right, with my hand, and I came back in and redistributed it through with the large teeth of my comb, and then began to push it back into shape with my hand. Now I've got my sock cap diffuser on. I love the sock cap diffuser. This is a small size, there's a larger size. Designed by YS Park, who makes this, like, you know, killer tools for the industry. And this has got like a titanium mesh front on there, and the titanium mesh works off of some kind of crazy nanotechnology, which is supposed to help, I don't know, refortify the hair. I don't know about all that part of it, but they travel really well. They just kind of like wad up, and you shove them in your pocket, throw them in your little kit bag. They're excellent to retail out to clients because they're universal. They, like, you know, slip over any size nozzle of blow dryer, and they got this cool little bungee cord, and they run for, you know, 20, 25 bucks. Money well worth it. I'm a junkie. I'm a product whore. I'll spend it if I got it. Problem is I don't got it enough.
Do you use your blow dryer on full blast? Full
No.
power?
Yeah, my blow dryer right now is on high heat and a medium fan speed to control it. If I do put it on full blast, you can see it may aggravate the hair a little bit more, making it a bit more frizzy, but there's times I've definitely put it on full blast. So, and Maria's hair is going to dry out pretty quickly because of these lights. The lights are warm. And, you know, I was talking about this earlier today when I was doing a demo for our student body. And it was like, you know, for me, diffusing was one of those things for a long time I was really just insecure on doing, because I was always told of like what not to do. Don't touch the hair too much, don't, because you're gonna make it frizzy, whatever it might be. But they never told me like how to like properly do it, or what you can do, or the rules to break are, you know. So it really took me some time to figure it out. And diffusing is one of my favorite things to do right now, because you just really like handcraft the shape of the haircut, being with obviously diffusing that flow of air and then just pushing it into shape with my left hand. And obviously I don't want to get in there and begin to destroy the curl pattern, but it's definitely okay to touch it, to push it into shape more so, and to help encourage the curl by like picking it up and putting that bend in there. So diffusing's been a fun thing for me in the past, you know, I don't know, 5 years. I'm doing hair for damn near 20 years, so I always loved cutting curly hair because of the idea of thinking about it in more of a three-dimensional expanded shape rather than, you know, straight hair sitting on the hair more one-dimensionally. But the finishing of it, I was never really that great at. I'm not saying I'm great at it now, just getting better at it. But I always used to like farm it off to some of my assistants who had curly hair who knew how to do it really good because they did it on themselves at home. But they would always make it look too conventional, not like rugged enough. I like my haircuts to definitely have like some edge to them, but still like real modern and sophisticated in the shape and the technique. So there's an excellent hybrid there.
Randy says, please tell Adam the haircut looks great.
Thanks, Randy. Appreciate you watching. So as I diffuse this, I'm going to get it to about, you know, the 85–90% level dry. Probably come back in with a little bit more of the curl definer, kind of push it through, help out with maybe a little bit of like the staticky frizzy bits, and then finish it out. A lot of the times in the salon, depending on, you know, the shape of the haircut, I'll only diffuse it to be about 80% dry, and then, you know, let it dry the other additional 20% just naturally. A lot of the clients in the salon, some of them, you know, they kind of get freaked out if they got a little bit of like frizz texture going on with their curl. But if I, you know, for me and looking at like what's really going on within hair anymore, it's like you definitely see the resurgence of texture, which I think is an excellent thing. I think, you know, for so long it was just so straight and so leak. It had texture, but it just wasn't like in a three-dimensional, an expanded shape. So that's why I'm like really big into like pumping out new texturizing services in the salon. You know, we do one that Orojo created, that American Wave, which is really cool. But it's just about getting creative and putting that bend back in the hair. But I think what makes it good is, you know, I don't like to see like all of my curls clumped together, all individualized, looking like they've been shellacked by gel, like you can't touch them. I want them to be like soft, touchable, airy, and I like to use the word like angelic, kind of like a little like fuzzy bits. So, and I think that's what makes them look a little bit more modern. But if you notice, as I diffuse, I'm keeping the flow of air moving down the shaft of hair. Because if I go up it or right into it still, I'm beginning to aggravate that curl pattern more so. I'll aggravate it enough with my left hand. Head forward. I like to bring this all forward just to get it off the face. That little bit of a gravitational pull forward helps out, just kind of building a little bit more body through the sides, and then I'll bring it back and get it back off the face. A few minutes more and we should be done. Like I said, watching somebody blow dry, it's kind of a hard thing. Yeah. Josh is always so into his blow dries. Just can't pass the time fast enough, huh? Yeah. And the other idea is, you're going to do interviews next week, yeah? When you blow dry? Maybe. Try to, maybe? It's always a great idea. Something Josh was going to work on and do.
But I might have Katie doing that too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow, that looks amazing.
It's coming together. All right. So to kind of recap for the ones that had come in late, this is Maria. She had a grown out, long graduated haircut. We brought the length up to just below the hairline. Worked a really, did you already blow one?
Yeah.
Dang. Worked blowing lights. We worked a really like kind of tight, flat graduation in the back, utilizing a really strong diagonal, vertical diagonal subsection through the back nape, starting with the center part, just kind of working off that center part right and left, utilizing the feather plie blade on a very like small closed stroke, and I began to create a baseline of graduation. As I began to move up the shape of the head, I began to open the stroke of that blade to produce more softness through the hair and to help create more elevation through the graduation. Because my graduation and building it, the elevation was always pretty low, never too high. It was more in the stroke of the plie. I feel like I need to stop diffusing and hit those bangs real quick before they just dry and get out of control on me. But we'll wait. Is that light that smells like that?
What?
It smells like fire. We got fire in
Yeah.
here? Woo!
Well, it looks like the little fuse thing from there.
I think those lights are gone, man.
Oh, shit. Yeah, dude. Oh.
Oh. So now coming back in with the fine teeth of my cutting comb, just beginning to like smooth out that front fringe, have a little contrast of texture, something a little straighter, smoother. What this will do is it'll really flatten out that root more than anything. And you think about it, the fine teeth of the comb, the teeth are a lot more consolidated together than any kind of brush out there. So you get more, I can get more tension on it. And in fact, you can even come back up and underneath it. If I had a nozzle on, it'd be better, but then use the spine of the comb to polish and smooth as well. Why have you never done that? Look at Erin, just learned something.
I've never
hanging out tonight. She's got her money worth. All free part of it. All right. This little brush is killer. I love having one of these in my kit. It's like a small little, it's not a Mason Pearson even. It's like made by Monroe.
That's a really cute little brush.
It's a cute little brush, but it's excellent for hitting bangs or fringes. I'm just gonna come up and underneath it. Got the nozzle on the blower now.
Where can you find that little guy at?
One of the shows, walking around. Going down the shaft, polishing, smoothing that out. That light that blew up, stinky, man. Just taking this brush and I'm going to flatten out the top root area just to like the round of the head. It's going to help take a little bit of that frizz out that was there, but also just kind of take the shape of it and flatten it out through the top and keep it more expanded just onto the sides. Almost done. Finish the diffusing. Sock cap. A little healing oil I think would be nice in there just to give it a little bit more healing properties. It's a restorative glossing spray, just a little bits at a time. Little pump, 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 pump. Yeah, and then I'll finish it out. And then I'll shake it out and make it really loose and erratic. We just went out and bought those fuses, huh? Is that one of the, is that a brand new one?
Wiring mounted out of this one.
So that light's done.
Yeah, I think so.
You need to buy new lights.
That's really cute.
Thank you, Aaron.
I'm not just saying that because I work for you.
You should do that as well.
I'm not just saying that because she handles my food.
Right. This shit's funky. All right. Just to finish it up, I'm gonna go in and just with the scissor, go around the face, get rid of any of these loose little bits, make it nice and clean, give it a little bit of just definition. So scissors, and these are the these are the QXs that I picked up off of HB Pro, that are the be-all end-all of scissors. Actually, I heard a little rumor that HB might be coming out with their own scissors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and knowing that, you know, there's Gerard and Randy behind it, I would figure that they're going to be just titty McGitties. It's horrible to say.
Never even heard that before.
Titty McGitties. Going to be the kitty's milk. I don't know, what the hell is that saying? Somebody come back in on the opposing side. And just kind of open this up a little bit, corner of the eye, bring it down, just a little channeling. Try to get that elbow up nice and high so you can see. The kitty's milk. Just a little subdivision between the sides in that fringe area, just opening it up so the fringe is its own little entity, nice and soft and clean. Bring these bits over and just take away loose little bits that just don't belong. And this little bit. And that little bit. So keeping that fringe just nice and airy and soft. I kind of like it. And drop these down a little bit, look at that. And now what I'm doing is just quickly going through and reassessing my shape. It's hard, you know, without a mirror. Well, I got a mirror for here.
What?
I got a little mirror I'm gonna bring in.
Oh yeah?
It's like a little stand-up corner thing, so it'd be like great, like right in that corner that you could, you know, just reference it. It's a mirror that I gave to my brother Joe like years ago. And I said, if you ever want to get rid of it, let me know. You're gonna, you know, I'll take it back. And he was like, hey man, I'm gonna have a garage sale. I'm gonna sell that mirror. He's like, I got like all the, my little brother's got all this stuff that I've given him. He's like, I'm gonna have a garage sale and sell it all off. Like, wait, dude, I want it back, man. I'm gonna have my own garage sale and sell it all off.
It's gonna be like, hey, you got any more stuff you want to give me so I can sell it?
Right?
Dude, and that's just what he's telling you. Imagine like eBay.
Yeah. Take that off. And then just finish these little bits up here. It's nice and soft right to that line. Oh, hey. That's awesome.
What? Tyler?
No.
Did you cut her?
Not yet. All right. So, before we finish up, last thing I'll always do is I will take my client or my model out of the chair. I like to get a eyesight perspective on her. Dust this off, and I'll get a little bit more products in my hand. I'll kind of shake it out and to see how it's looking. So Maria, if you'll stand up. I'm going to come back in with a little bit of my sample of milk if I didn't shoot it all over the ground.
The precious free product.
Oh, I got the end.
Dude.
Don't waste again.
And I'm just going to come back in, kind of work it through the ends. Back into that top, spin, looking at my disconnection through the back. Dude, I might need to open up the real bottle. Garrett should give me a bottle just for this
Kitty
class.
already stole mine.
Awesome. Okay, so now I'm just kind of coming back through with a little bit more of that milk, which is kind of fun. New product. Really, I wish you could. I work this stuff like all over my beard in the morning. I use it like as an aftershave. Like really, it's really multifunctional. And now just kind of tweaking it out. Pulling it apart. Looking at it. Nice, nice, nice. And a little bit of dry refinish spray by Rojo to give it a little bit of substance, a little memory. Not too much. A little pulsate, pulsate, pulsate. All right, so real quick, recap. Graduated shape. Tight finger graduation through the back, began to work just kind of pivotally out on a very strong vertical diagonal. I had the top interior subdivided off in a triangular shape. So I began to work just a really classic triangular graduation through the bottom exterior, but flattening it out more so by utilizing the blade, the plie blade, and opening the stroke up as I moved up the back of the head. The top, I came back down, I worked more of a round graduated technique. So it's sitting mildly disconnected, which this hair is now helping just push off of the face, so it keeps Maria's little face nice and open. Round graduation through the top interior, and then just a soft layer. And this is something, like I said, I cut something similar to this earlier today, over the weekend. So I've just kind of been playing and exploring different variations of this shape. I worked a different variation through the top today and yesterday, or not yesterday, but over the weekend. So trying to make it obviously suit the individual. And then it's got these great little disconnected bits that just sit very softly over the graduated line that are sitting from that round graduation through the back. All right, so with that being said, this will we'll take this show to a closing, and be sure to check us out, Federico Live, every first and third Thursday of every month. And then you check out Josh with Weapon of Choice every second and fourth Thursday.
That's me.
That's Josh. And we start live at 6 o'clock. You can tune in at 5:30 for the pre-show. Please comment in, tweet questions. You can find the pre-recorded show tomorrow back on YouTube. Share it out with your friends, your coworkers, your colleagues, and let them know it's like the best form of free education that you found. And we're out here to promote Federico Advanced in Sacramento, California. Thank you very much. You guys have a lovely evening.